Chiana's brother, she's going through a tough time because she realises she has a chip that's implanted in her that is connected to her brother, and the chip fades out. So she believes in her heart and her soul that she's lost her brother. So she goes on, as every adolescent does, on a pretty experimental adventure and hangs out with some crazy cats. And that is taking the stone. Dun, dun, dun. What's that on? I don't even know. Yeah, let's see. Does anyone have any questions while we're waiting? As in, what is the closest exit? Hey, babe. Now I feel like I'm on Springer or something. Was that Ellen if I just do the dance? Sorry, guys. Thrusting my crutch in your face. Hello, welcome to the panel.
Hello, welcome to the panel. So, Australian, but so Chiana had obviously a different sort of accent. What did you do to channel Chiana, and how did you change your voice?
Well, first of all, I was telling you guys at the talk yesterday, it was a bit of a debacle about the voice, because originally the very first 3 days that I did Chiana, and all the auditions, which was like a 2-month process, she was American, and that was the character brief. And then within about 3 days of shooting, the Australian producer pulled me aside and said, look, we actually don't want you American anymore. We've got Ben that's the American, Claudia that's English, and we need a strong Australian. And I was like, this is insane. I'd never heard that you could dub over an episode, so I just thought that 3 days was going to be Australian, and the rest was, no, 3 days was going to be American, and the rest Australian. Anyway, so it went back and forward several times within that day, because I think at that point they were deciding that the character might be worth keeping around, and it was very important to sell it to the Australian market as well, because it was Australian made. We made it down under. So I ended up doing the whole of series 1, 15 to the end, in Australian. And then at the end, the Australian producer left, and the American producer came and said, you know what, we love Chiana, she's going to stick around, but we want her to be American. I'm like, are you frilling with me? So then we went and dubbed over as much as they had time and money to do in American. So quite clearly, as I said yesterday in the talk, you'll see from episode 15 to the end of series 1, there is very strong Australian and very strong American. And then from series 2 onwards, I'm doing my best to do my American-ish, but I still hear a few Aussie little things pop out. But I don't think that, but that to me still was quite heartbreaking, because this is the kind of interesting things that you guys don't get to hear about, is these huge character choices that are very important to us actors, but really you have to do whatever the gods tell you. So the character that you see on the screen, by the time we get to you, has been touched and tainted by so many people on the way. So now when I watch something, I have to really stand back and try not to judge too much, because I go, you know, you watch an actress or an actor and they might do a crappy scene and you don't know what's happened to them on the set that day, and sure, you've got to be professional and pull off your job, but also there are so many other parts of the process that come into it. It's not just that actor that's coming up with his character. Oh, I don't know. Hi, Chiana! Oh, look, that's when I was young. Oh, this was before my boobs dropped. Oh, massive. Sorry.
Looks familiar.
Wow. Look at, what's wrong with her? Stand up. Wasted already, on set at 4 a.m.
Oh, some of that audio. That's at least half of the cues we gave him.